So y'all had like your staff have infinite amount of time to notify somebody that
Right.
hey, we don't know where this kid is, and to notify her that y'all have no idea where this kid is. She could be on the bus, so please take a look at right there. We go continue to
Yeah,
look whatever.
that safety net, I mean, we're stressing, we don't, it never happens this way. Right. So I'm looking, and we did correct it, that it's, you need to fix your list. Because I do bus. I don't know, I would have no reason to know if you didn't call and say put her on the bus. Mm-hmm. They don't tell me. It goes to the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, she went on the bus yesterday. I don't think twice about because she comes off that bus in the day, in the morning. But
still, for her to call and them to sit if they say, yeah, we just found this out, which is not a problem if y'all genuinely don't know.
I wouldn't have known.
Right, you wouldn't have known because you gotta get a phone call from them to let you know that something like this happened. But you got a phone call later. So everything happened later on. So she got on the bus because the teacher, sent her on the bus. Bam, that's right there.
Right.
She got home, bam, right there, right?
Yes.
But the whole entire time she's supposed to be here. So now we're looking for y'all to contact us. There's no contact at all. She had to contact y'all. And all of a sudden, now y'all been knowing and y'all didn't contact her.
Yeah, well, so, I don't know who knew.
Right, and that's the whole issue because whoever works here is not.
Let me explain.
That would be
so
I want to hear this.
So on a regular basis, sometimes parents will call and tell the homeroom teacher, hey, my child can't stay today. They have a baseball game.
But then I make that
doctor's
call.
appointment.
No.
I understand. So they would let the teacher know, and the teacher would say, okay, and the teacher would put the child on the bus.
Right.
So kids can be absent from my tour kid, even though they were here during the day, and that's not a huge red flag for me that they got on a bus they shouldn't have gone on, right? Because kids are absent all the time. When we're in tour kids, we don't know were they here during the school day. It's different teachers, different groups of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like it's that child's teacher that works the program, right? We have a group of people who teach different classes, different grade levels.
Okay.
So we didn't know anything until y'all called and said that Aaliyah got on the bus and she wasn't supposed to.
Hold on.
We did not know until that point.
Because I understand what y'all coming from. Where is it coming from? I understand that point. But the point that I don't understand is that you got a teacher that put on a bus. When we called here, they say, yeah, we was looking for her. So that's where your words and their words are intertwining with each other because they're saying that, yeah, we know, and you saying that they shouldn't know. How is that possible?
I don't know how
two different
they
stories. Because literally, they knew, but y'all didn't. And literally, you telling me y'all didn't know, but they told us yesterday that they did. So there's two intertwining stories. There's two people telling us two different things.
Hey, Miss Capata, how did you all find out that the tool was missing? Because when Mom called, she said that y'all said that you knew and you were looking for her.
Oh. Okay.
Well, the only thing I can reassure you is
She said Aaliyah came home on the bus, and why wasn't she contacted? I didn't know anything about it.
Then why is the conversation said that we were looking for her? If y'all
Her. We tried calling you back, it kept going straight to voicemail.
You're gonna mad at the wrong person.
Hold on,
What you need to calm down.
I'm kind of curious.
We tried calling you.
Ma'am,
You need to calm
I'm
down.
kind of curious on.
I'm not one of these kids
Hold
here.
on, chill out. I'm kind of curious, ma'am. I'm kind of curious, ma'am. Okay.
You want to go along with this?
Yes, please.
Let's do that.
Please.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's do
whatever.
this. Let's go, Mike.
Yes, please.
Private.
Please, thank you.
We do have a little girl over here. We'll talk about that whatever.
Miss Fed, you want me to join you?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
And it's all.
Because I would like to see this as well because, just hearing your information
sorry for the mess, but it's the working office, there's seats.
Oh, no, ma'am. By all means, no, I'm fine.
No, please.
No, I'm military. I'm used to standing up all the time, you know. You see me do this in a minute and all that.
Okay.
Just never mind all that. Oh,
No, but there,
That's a lot of years of training.
yes.
you
yes.
know, from what I'm hearing too, and what you're saying is completely true. When I came in and heard the story early this morning, I said, okay, we're gonna talk to Mom at the meeting.
Right.
I already took off and was talking to people going, this can't happen.
Right.
You know, and I have a relationship with I'm sorry, I have a relationship
No,
with
you're fine. You're fine, 'cause believe me, this getting on my nerves too.
me too, and I've been vaccinated and so has she,
Yeah.
so if you wanna take it down, it's okay with me.
This just, you know.
So, with Mr. Howell, the bus driver, so I was gonna personally talk to him going, you know, she shouldn't have been on the bus, but the safety mechanisms that schools have
Mhm.
is that if the parent's not there, you bring them back. Then we go, what, and why were you brought back? And they're like, there was a parent there, okay. So then, usually we connect we go through it and connect everything. Somebody usually says, but she's in the after-school program. So we're like, oh, so we take them to the after-school program and go, well, they're yours.
How did they get on the bus? We gotta fix that problem. Where's that,
So-
where's the
But I
Yeah.
can
Chink in that
reassure you
chain.
that we have already talked to Miss Murin.
Right.
Okay, that's cleaned up. We had to see that her name was in the right place.
Correct.
Because we had done it, you know, what happens is, and it's not an excuse, is that it's been a new time that she's been here. It hasn't been all year, so they made the
Yeah.
list and then
Okay,
just
yeah.
forgot to put it on there, and there was a sub.
Miss Mirren's always here, she's never out, so it's never,
So
we've
it's
never
never
had a
been an
problem.
issue, so, but and I'm sorry for whatever happened in the office, but we want to fix anything. These are children.
Right.
And so, when we find something like that happen, we find it very scary and we don't like it, and we put everything, you don't even have to ask us to, we put everything in place right away. As soon as I found out,
Right.
okay, what happened, what, you know, and all the way to the bus.
Right.
So, and I didn't wanna get him written up
No.
Oh, no, he needs to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
written
yeah.
up.
This is not the first time.
It's not?
Because
It's not.
before she started tour, cause now with tour,
Right.
they're waiting for you,
Right.
right?
I'll
Right.
send it
At
in
the end of the
as soon
day,
as we finish.
I know that the lady is amazing, our bus driver,
Right.
for tour, and she's like, no, that's why the kid I was
She-
there
yeah,
until
she does
7,
that.
because there was no one there to take that baby, so it's
Right.
like, nope, not leaving him, so.
Right.
Well,
I
and
didn't realize
that's
they
not
couldn't
okay with
even
me,
do
I would
that.
have a heart attack if
Yeah.
that had been my child.
Right.
And so I'm not, you know, saying it's all well. I would have been, you know, I was a mother bear with all 3 of mine, and it's unacceptable. I'm also a mother bear with all 570 of them.
Right.
You do not do that. I would, if your child had been missing for 1 second, I would have been in my car searching every place. It just, I can't take that. It's all,
Right.
so I have to reassure you that I'm sorry that happened. We're fixing what that happened, all the way to the bus driver, the office, and the teacher.
Yeah, but, you know, it still raises a lot of questions.
Go ahead.
And I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to do with you, because you're doing now the steps that you know that this has happened. But I'm still confused on how is this possible? Y'all have a lot of things in place for this not to happen. And for it to still happen, that means that there is a fault line somewhere in the gigantic circle
Mhm.
of this facility.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the paperwork saying that they're saying her name had to be on the paperwork. Okay, her name was missing on the paperwork. She was brought there. Okay, then it comes to, well, who knew about it? Somebody had to call the office to understand something, and then we was told, I guess, by her, because she's saying now all of a sudden her story's changing.
Well, and that is because I'm like, where did that happen?
We did not know,
No.
so you called and told us that Elise was home and on the
Right.
bus.
Okay, it would have been fine if you was on the phone. You know, it would have been completely fine.
Right.
But it was her saying she was on the phone yesterday and she heard her talk. She said, "Oh yeah, we heard," and that's when the problem come in, because
I know.
y'all not supposed to be notified of anything if anything like that happened.
Right.
But yeah, y'all were notified that she wasn't where she was supposed to be, so where is she?
And you heard her yourself, she's saying, no, I wasn't notified.
Right.
So I'm like,
So
If we had
The-
known she was missing, we
That's-
would have been on the phone with the bus and with
Right.
you like that.
no,
So we did not know until you informed us.
I'm not gonna say y'all
At
didn't
all.
know. She knew. She knew. She could have called or told y'all that this has went on and what's the correct procedure. You know, ask y'all what the correct procedure is after that. Because now the parent is stuck in a situation where they did not know what and was not notified. So then, all right, she didn't do anything. She let y'all know eventually, but she didn't do anything.
Until like what, 5 o'clock?
Yeah, until 5
She let
o'clock.
me know a little bit before that. I said, is Aaliyah home safe? Is everything fine? She said, yes. I said, do I need to call mom? Yes. I said, okay, I'll call mom as soon as
Okay.
I'm done with the second grade class. And then I tried several times and it
But
went to
but
voicemail.
mind you, right? Before she called, it take from 3 something to 5. So there's a big old open window
Because a
of
kid can't be
anything can
missing like
happen,
that.
and any kind of
you
communication
don't have
could
to tell
happen
me.
that did not have to do with you.
that gives
It
me
had to do
angina.
with the school system.
Right. No, I
Because
understand. I
they
understand.
supposed to notify every kid that gets on a bus, or if they not supposed to be on a bus right then and there, then notify the parent, hey, your kid's not here. Is your kid at home, or you know, or your situation okay? You know, just to notify themselves and say, yo, we dodged a bullet. But there was no bullet dodged. It's more of a, it's not our fault. Blame from an employee. I know, that kid down on the bus, I didn't know about it. Hold on, but wait a minute, we got a phone call. She called them, and y'all knew. So then there's that why gap. You know, it leaves a gigantic
I have a question.
why.
Do y'all count the kids and check off the kids list and tour kids?
Yes, we
Yes.
do attendance, but that's what I was saying earlier. Kids can often be at school and then go home
At
after
Right.
school.
Like
Right.
at tour kids though, at tour kids.
Yes, we do attendance
Yeah.
at tour kids,
So
So if,
but they could have not.
And during the
Kids
day,
often
mother could
don't.
have picked them up and taken them to the doctor.
right, or anything.
And we
of
don't
that nature.
necessarily get that, but you know, that's something to think about, that we should maybe have them create a list of people who went home with mom.
Right.
And so,
Yes.
and we sent it to you.
because that
you
was
sent it
my
to
question, I
me,
was
Right.
gonna say, right.
Right.
And this is the people who went home, don't expect them in after school.
Yeah.
Right. At least something to notify
we wouldn't do
everybody
it for
of
absence.
something.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, if a kid is absent, you already notified
Yeah.
that they're absent. You know what I'm saying? It's saying the absentee. But if a kid is there and they're going missing, what you need to be notified above hand. You should know that this happened under your school supervision, because you have to answer upset parents to the incident that you didn't cause. You know, you just find out just as well as they just found out. But then it's still a question. The entire time she was finally notified and knew, but then she's saying she don't know, right? But our kid was missing, and then we get a phone call around you around 5 something.
How
Okay,
did Ms. Capallo know, Jennifer?
throughout the whole entire time,
She knows because she got a phone call from the mom.
right? But during that the whole entire time, our kid is missing, even though she's with us, cause we found her at a next door neighbor house playing. Next door neighbor, we did not
That's
know
the
that she
part
was
that got
at the
me.
house, but she was at a next door neighbor house playing with the kids. How in the world we supposed to know?
I agree.
You know, and that's when things start to get jumbled up, because yo, if our kid would have went up missing, who would have put money on a gravesite? Y'all wouldn't have done it, and I'm not saying y'all is you. I'm saying the school system.
Right.
Wouldn't they just sit up there and say, hey, we go give you money for your kid, sorry for your loss? No, there wouldn't be any such, so we have to take you out of court. Because that right there of a teacher saying that she's gonna go home and no notification around a gigantic circle, period, is where there is a lack of traditional standards. Because we are supposed to know just like y'all are supposed to know.
Question, would y'all would have known if Aaliyah came home at 3 o'clock if I wouldn't have made that phone call?
No,
See?
because we would have
Exactly.
assumed
See?
that
Exactly.
that
Right.
she wasn't at school that day, or that she got a phone
Right.
call, you know, or that.
That is a problem. That's a serious problem. Knowing that she has been going to, you know, your program for the longest, all of a sudden she's not in your program and there's nothing said to you. Like, how do that happen?
Well, I think it was because the teacher wasn't there. She would have
Even
caught
if
it.
the teacher wasn't there, how do that still happen? Because
Exactly.
as a administrator of student, because I used to be an administrator,
Mhm.
I know that when everything comes downhill, yo, we are in the middle of it. We have to deal with everything that goes on because we are responsible during this time for this kid.
Absolutely.
So how do that happen? Even if she don't know, somebody around the building should have known, or there should have been a phone call somewhere where they notify somebody of something.
And we do call, she's supposed to call when they're absent, that is a check that we have.
Right,
She just hadn't
right.
started making those calls yet.
Right,
So
so-
she would have called, but it wasn't soon enough, so we can
No,
work
it
on
wasn't.
that too.
It was not made. It was
Right.
not made until they notified you. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's where the issue is, because you have to notify another teacher for them to understand that their kid is missing. Why do they need to notify you if it happened hours ago? You know what I'm saying? Even 8 hours ago, it still happened.
Right.
So why is this now news to you? Because you don't know. And then you as a principal, you don't know until they come and tell you, and then you gotta play cleanup for people who should have notified you. You know what I'm saying? It should have been talked about and then discussed what happened and what kind of precautions.
We did pull people in.
Yeah, but it was late
After
then.
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was this morning early.
Yeah,
I was like,
teachers were.
we
calling,
were
yeah.
like, oh, how did this happen?
Right.
So,
And that's where I find the biggest issue. It's not because of that. It's because all this had to happen for them to notify you, and then you put something together because you find it unsavory. You know what I'm saying? You got kids of your own. You sitting up there saying this should have never happened, but it should have never happened in the first place.
right.
Versus you saying that it should, because your word is law in the school system, but at the same time,
Right.
you know, it
Right.
still happens.
So I mean, you've given me a lot of food for thought, but I do think that a list of people who are supposed to be here and shouldn't be here, because no one said Ochoa was not going to take the bus.
Right.
Right. So if you saw that and she wasn't here, you probably would have been alerted
Right.
and nervous about that, because
Right.
once it gets to the afternoon school, that she's the director.
Right.
So, which is like, we need to get it to where that we've never done that before, but I think it's a
Yeah,
great
because like,
idea.
I don't
and
have a
take
list
no
of
work.
whether kids were here or not during the day.
Right. So I
No.
mean, maybe
I mean,
there
I
should
don't
be
have a way of knowing that Aaliyah was here.
Right. So maybe there should be a checklist. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
like it say you got a list where you check out all the students that came in and everything. And if a student's not there, then you call the office and say, well, I don't have these students.
Right.
You know, or
Yeah.
did the
And we
parent
can
come
work
in
on
or
that.
something like that?
So what I would
We
like
can
is that
strengthen
you
that
and Bryce
system.
have a list of all the kids that are in the system, and then we make a copy for up there, and they can just mark on it, went home, absent, whatever.
Yeah,
And then you give it to you every day.
Right.
So if you have the template, then she can mark it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, give her another one, and I keep the, or
But then,
you keep
I'm
it.
kind of curious. She's been going to Turkish,
Turkish
right?
for the longest.
longest.
Several months.
What happened to her name? Why wasn't it on a piece of paper?
No, so there's attendance.
She
So
is.
she
Right.
was like
No.
absent at
I'm
some point
asking.
yesterday.
I'm
But
asking.
again, it wasn't a red flag.
Why wasn't it on the
because-
teacher's list? Why
Yes.
didn't she move it over? I
Right.
can't answer that.
Or why wasn't it on the list in general? Because it was already, she's been going for 7 months now.
Mhm.
Several,
You know,
I don't remember
right,
what month
several.
she started.
And she
So-
was
Like
invited.
halfway through.
Right, so
Yeah.
necessarily,
We said, I said, I want Aaliyah to
she's
be
now
the
known.
I was
She's
like,
now
I want
known
Aaliyah.
in the system.
Yeah.
Why wasn't her name added?
because the teacher's like, you know, in your head, you go, I know who all goes, you go in this line, cause you're going, you know, they stay back actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the sub read all the bus people, Choa's name was still on there, because that's her bus that she takes, if anything happened, you didn't want her to go. We had to have that, so we never put her on the wrong bus, so she went.
No, I know the whole bus
Yeah.
system. I'm talking about the system here for the school that y'all have for the substitute teacher, because she don't know.
Right, that's what we're saying.
What
Ms. Murin's
student-
list wasn't
So,
updated to show Leah
if the
being
list,
shortlisted.
hold on, the list wasn't updated, but she's been going for 7 months, so y'all have 7 months to update the list. What happened?
You tell me.
I'm asking because I honestly don't know. Like
Uh-huh.
literally, I don't know because I don't work at this facility, and you know her name should have been on there.
I
What
get it.
happened?
Yes.
What-
Other than just taking for granted that you know, but it wasn't for the sub, so I agree, it's on there now, but, I can't answer that. Why
No,
somebody didn't
right.
just fill in her name.
Or
Right.
why wasn't her name, you know, starting off with, you know what I'm saying?
Because-
Not you don't have to be the beginning name, but just on the list in
Right.
general. Like what happened to her name being on that list in general? It should have never been taken off because she started it like
Because
that.
I know
So-
I'm very
She started
good
coming
at
home on
calling
108. She wasn't in
and letting her
Torquay till
know
mid-year.
my child will be
Right.
absent. I'm
And then I had
And
her
7
saying, I
months
go
later-
home and
I'm
invite
good with
her.
all
I don't know how
of
many
that. So if our
times,
child is
but
not gonna be
Sharon
here,
just didn't
I'll
move
call.
her
Yeah.
from
So,
on the sub
I'm very
list
good at
from
that.
Yeah.
riding bus 108 to Torquay.
I have
That's
no
what,
answer
that's
why
what
her
happened.
name
It was just
wasn't
Miss
in there.
Murin's
No,
failed
no, that's
to.
what happened.
But that's out of 7 months though. So she didn't do it during out the whole entire 7 months. So what happened during out the whole entire 7 months?
Well, because
Like,
two things. First of all, Miss Murin's always here, so she
Mm.
knows Aaliyah goes to Torquay. So that's one.
She's
And the
actually
other
here
thing
the
is
whole
that.
time.
No, that's not one. The reason why I say that's not one is
Oh.
because necessarily if you know that this is happening and you know that you're supposed to, you know what I'm saying, put her name on there in general, you know what I'm saying, so they start typing her name or whatever may, you know, how y'all facilitate, you know, who's supposed to be there. Well, 7 months, y'all have 7 months to do so. You know,
Yeah, so-
it's not a date that is missing. It's 7 months down the line that y'all have saying that y'all can type her name on there. But the first day y'all didn't type your name, which is understandable. Okay, you know, the second day, okay, still understandable, but kind of fishy. The third day, okay, we should have a name somewhere on a piece of paper, but it didn't happen. Okay, then a month down the line, what's going on? 2 months down the line, okay, this can't be happening. We need to, you know what I'm saying, have her name on a piece of paper. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Down the line, her name is not on a piece of paper. What's going on? That's when it's a what's going on factor. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody missed something. We didn't miss it because we did our job as parents. Somebody had to miss something for 7 months to go down the line, and her name is not on a piece of paper. And it's a piece of paper that y'all go by.
It's
Well,
not, so,
teachers in
right,
general.
right. So teachers know who they, I mean, it changes, in teachers' defense, it changes every day, right? Parents call the teacher and say, hey, I'm not gonna take me to our kids today, or they call and say, they're not gonna ride a bus today, they're gonna go home, auntie that's on the list is gonna pick them up. So teachers are always balancing their whole class, but they know, I mean, it's amazing, but they know whether they can't update that list every single day with what's happening that day, right? But they do have a general list usually for a sub that says, these 5 kids are car riders, these 3 kids take the bus, and which buses they take, these kids go to Tour Kids or whatever.
Right.
So Ms. Murin just simply, I'm assuming, didn't move Aaliyah from bus 108 over to Tour. And no one would catch that unless, you know, this kind of situation happened.
But my question still stands. 7 months went down the line, and her name is still not added. What happened? You can answer all the other questions, but that question still is vague.
Right.
What happened to her name being on the list? Every other student is on there. What happened to her name being on the list 7 months? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it lives up to it.
You know, I know that sometimes as an adult or a teacher, if I know something really solid, sometimes I read it that it's there, you know, and I'm like, you go over here, you're in tour.
Right.
But messed up when there was a sub in the room.
Right,
And,
which I totally understand, because it's not the sub's fault, because she did not know, and her name was on the bus. For 7 months though, 7 months, and her name is not crossed from the bus to tour kids, or however y'all say it. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Tour kids?
It's like
Okay.
the tornadoes.
Right, yeah, you know, I just want to make sure I had it right.
Spin on ball, I guess.
Yeah, alright, so her name did not move from bus rider to tour kids. That's when the information, you had 7 months to put this information right there. Out of 7 months, not 1 month you thought about putting her name right there, but you've been writing her name or notifying whoever as the teacher. You've been notifying, taking her out of, out of line or whatever to make sure that she's with the tour kids.
Right.
But now, one thing in your head sit up there and said that her name need to be on the list just in case something happens to me. What if my leg break, you know what I'm saying, on walking to Walmart or something? You know, I can't sit up there and they supposed to automatically know. You know, that's a school system, but at the same time, I have a person, in my office doing my job, you know what I'm saying, until I get my legs fixed. She's supposed to know. But she don't, because the paper don't have her name on it.
Right. And we will fix that, we will
It's
remedy
already
it,
fixed.
and we will
Yeah,
for everyone, and we're putting extra checks and balances in place to make sure, and then just for Leah as well, I told you that I have an extra teacher just to make sure that she's exactly where she should be after school, just an extra set of eyes.
That's like the biggest deal that I never really understood. Because military-wise, if your name is not on that list, and you don't go to something that you're supposed to went to,
Right, everyone knows.
everybody knows, and whoever's supposed to have done the list is in trouble now. Regardless on, we see this person every day, regardless if you automatically send them over there, you are now in trouble. It come out of your paycheck and it come out of your time. Well, what the school is doing about it?
Well, a lot. But, I don't know what else to say except that I understand completely what you say. I happen to agree with everything that you said. And that we have to make sure something like that never happens again. I'm grateful that nothing happened to her. It would have put me in the hospital probably. It was a heart attack. I mean,
Right.
that's not okay. And I'm sorry that happened, and, address it with because it would have been nice if the bus driver, he should have brought her back.
Right.
That would have been our first,
Right.
what?
What?
And that's why we have, with so many kids, you have to have that, everything has to do.
Fit in the corner.
Yeah, so that we make sure
multiple
you-
checks, so
Right,
that
it gotta
nothing
fit,
can happen.
Right.
And none of that fit.
So
The
first the
entire
teacher, then the bus people.
doing with her as an African American student, everything does not fit right. And the reason why I'm saying that everything does not fit right is because she leaving school, nobody notified, nobody said anything, and then she getting off the bus without a parent supervision. Nothing fits. But let it be another student. They're going down a checklist of things. But, for Aaliyah, and I'm just talking about just Aaliyah as a person, that does not fit. Because the reason why it don't fit, because necessarily we wasn't notified of anything.
Right.
Neither one of us. Even if she's the main person y'all contact, she still was not notified.
But
And
I get
y'all
phone
did not
calls when
know.
she's in the office all
And
the
then
time.
y'all did not know.
I haven't called you yet, but.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that's when it
It's not a
all
big
falls
deal.
down towards heel.
Right.
It's a major pitfall after that.
But you know what, I want you to know, it's that she is very well loved here, and,
Right,
and,
I do appreciate that.
and that we do watch out for her. And it was like, she got on the bus, and so, and lately she's been, we've been watching her, because
Right.
she's been a little confused, she's been a little just not herself lately.
Mhm.
And so we have, we kind of watch it. She's in the office today, but it's not, she's doing great. But
Right.
it's, but we do, I mean, she has us watch her a lot. I mean, she
Right.
will demand that,
Right.
that we kind of watch her. But, no, there's no answer that I have for you other than everything that you mentioned is going to be, with the bus, I have to do the writing, the teacher, it's already, her names are in there for the sub.
And
Right.
checks for us. as
Checks,
kids,
and
yeah.
we're making a template where we have a double checklist so the office can do it. And then
Thank you.
maybe you just, it hasn't been that need, to have done that, but I think it is.
Yeah.
That you need to know who went home, that way, cause we can plan ahead too.
Right, and that way, y'all don't have parents who are not in such common nature, because we're not in such common nature, but at the same time, we understand that y'all are parents as well, and it's, gonna be some kind of mistake. Even if there's a mistake on the spelling test from the students, there's gonna be some
Yeah,
kind
but
of
we
mistake
don't,
somewhere.
these kind of mistakes, we don't normally make,
Right.
and we do not accept
And
that.
that's
We
where,
do not- we
that's
would
where
never,
our
no.
questionnaires will wanna come from, because necessarily, it should have never happened,
No,
and
it
even if
shouldn't
it
have
did
happened.
happen, say if it did, then we should have been notified. You know what I'm saying? That way we would have
You would've found her.
yeah.
Would've been out there.
Right, and then you could have sit up there and just called us and been okay, by telling us, what I'm saying, as long as she's fine and everything, we're sorry for, the inconvenience. And we would have said, no, that's okay, at least y'all called, said
Right,
something
right,
to us.
Right,
So, that's when it
and I
would,
would've.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that would have made it fine.
Right.
But no notification, no kind of information whatsoever. And then y'all got an employee, and I'm gonna say this frankly, lying. I heard we're in. Well, that's when me as a parent, find it unsavory. Because we're not asking her to lie. She's not gonna get fired, or may not go get fired, let me say may. Not get fired, or anything else of that nature. So, nothing's really on her, because she didn't do anything wrong. The teacher didn't do anything wrong. Her name was not on the list, which that goes right back to the whole entire thing. So, necessarily, she's saying that she would have called her and all that there, and then she go get you, ma'am, to call her and everything else like that, but you end up calling her, okay?
Well, she's in charge of the afternoon.
No.
Right.
I
She's
believe
gone by
y'all
that
have two
time.
different pay periods.
Yes.
You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
no, it is. No, it's true.
No, yeah.
No, but
That's true.
So
I had to leave yesterday at 4, so.
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
like, you got this.
But she's telling her something different. You see what I'm saying? She's saying you. That's where the issue. That's
Yes,
another
she did
issue.
say-
So
she did
where
say
one
you
year.
have, you see what I'm
She
saying? Where
said-
does she has this? She's
She
gonna call.
did
Okay, then
honestly
she's
say
gonna call, but
she's gonna
instead
call you.
you gonna call. You know what I'm saying? So it went from you to you, real fast. She was not notified of that. She didn't even tell her. She said you gonna call. So then there's an issue right there. You know what I'm saying? Who is to notify the parent that, hey, we made a mistake? Sorry about this. What can we do to, not see this happen again? Do you have any kind of information? Because we don't never
Right.
want.
We did ask Jennifer to call, and she said that she had called, but no one picked up.
Right, but the problem would still stand in
And that came from
direct
Ms.
order.
Rodriguez.
But
yeah.
that's still standing in direct order. Because that's at 5-something. You know what I'm
Anything
saying?
could happen with the child's leaving.
If we
between
told
those
that
hours.
you're gonna call, we're expecting you to call,
Yeah.
not you. Even though it's still fair for you,
Right.
Well, as a parent, I would be expecting it as well.
right?
Mhm.
You know what? Hey, the principal's gonna call you. Okay, thank you. At least somebody
And I'm
go
waiting.
call.
And
Yeah.
then you get a notification from your neighbor. Hey, your daughter's over here.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Why?
so then information is way out of sync because we're not notified of anything. And then when we are notified of something, it went from you to you.
Is there another number we can add as well?
Y'all have
Because
both of our numbers, don't y'all?
In Skyward, there's just yours.
Oh,
And on my list, I have yours.
because I know y'all
first.
notified him one time.
Yeah, y'all
before.
notified me one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had called when remember we had that meeting because Aaliyah had said a curse word, and
Yeah.
that's when y'all
That
kept
was
on.
me that
Okay,
y'all
okay,
talked
that
to.
might be somewhere under emergency contacts, but for me, for tour kids to add to my list, cause I know it just said your voicemail wasn't set up.
It's not.
Okay. So I'm going to leave
It's only
message
for
to say,
spam call.
Yeah.
please call me, please call me, but I can add just to my tour kids list if I have your number too, then.
I reply
If
faster,
you don't
like text
answer,
messages,
then-
class dojo, emails.
Yeah.
That's a lot faster, and that way it's also documented as well.
Right.
Right.
I just knew you were
Usually
expecting a
people
call.
like that as well, the teachers that way
Yeah.
too, going, I have it right here, it's all.
Right.
I knew you were expecting a call and I wanted to make sure to get back with you, so,
Yeah.
So I understand, I've got it.
yeah, we will fix it and we apologize. And it will not happen again?
No.
You know, I'm
And
like,
now
like
that
I
one,
say,
okay.
I'm just, completely flabbergasted by the ordeal, and I find it unsavory. Y'all, I find y'all perfectly fine, and what y'all saying is savory. But then, saying there is still a factor of, and I know y'all can't answer it. There's still a factor of her becoming missing, nobody really knowing about it, but somebody knew about it, and, was go call, wasn't go call. That's when the ordeal go topsy-turvy.
Yep.
Somebody should have said something along the line, and for nobody to say anything. I mean, we come here, 12-ish? Somewhere around 12 to, figure out what happened, and then to hear, that this stuff is going on, then she saying that, she didn't know about it and all that there. That's when you really have to take a deep breath and start to feel there is a serious problem in this area. There needs to be something done in this field, and I understand that y'all gonna do it, but it's kind
It
of
still doesn't take away how you feel.
Right.
right. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make me feel safe until I finally see it.
Yeah.
Be notified that this is going on
Right.
with these teachers and
Right.
principals. The
Well, I
whole
didn't find
deal.
out until I got here this morning, and it was Miss Muir, and she said, "Did you hear what happened to Aaliyah?" I went, "What?" And that's
And Miss
what-
Muir was absent yesterday. That's the crazy part. It got to her fast.
Well, she was in the building,
She
she
was
was
in the
testing,
building
but she was with a
testing.
student.
Oh, so
because
she
the
was
bus
absent,
kids
but
leave
not
early,
absent.
yeah. The bus kids leave earlier than the regular class, so she was
Right.
still testing one of the
Right.
other
Oh,
students,
And I
so
don't
she
know who
wasn't,
told her, but
she wa- I
You
went,
did
I went,
good.
yeah, as soon as, once I found out, once I was done, cause I had to teach a writing lesson to second grade, so when I finished with the second grade tour kids group, and then I thought, I've gotta go talk to Miss Murin, so I said, hey, did you know? And then I came and tried to call you guys, and it may have been in the 4s, I don't know what time exactly it was that I was trying to call, I just know I was finished with the writing
No,
lesson.
it had
And
to be
so-
around 5-ish. And
Yeah,
the
well, when I
reason
tried to call and they didn't pick up, and I tried several different
And the
times,
only reason
so.
I say is it had to be around 5-ish. It's not your fault in
Yeah.
any sort.
No, I
You
know,
know,
I mean,
it just-
it is, but it's not, I mean,
Yeah, it's
it
not
falls
your-
on my shoulders, so.
Even though it may have, you feel that it may fall on your shoulders, I'm gonna say it's not your fault. And the reason why I say it's not your fault, because it started from a list of
Right,
names
right.
of students.
Right.
And, she wasn't added on to the list until
Right.
now.
But those are all
But
things
it
we'll
took a
tighten up.
mistake like that to happen for her to be added on that list. But wait a minute, her name should already been on there 7 months. 7 months, like,
So what
it
we
should
should
be
do
on there.
too, every time we add somebody, cause it should be an ongoing process for,
Right.
like, next year that we say, okay, these are tour kids, and we just send those lists out. Cause I do that with the buses, it's if it's to take each bus.
Right,
We'll do that with after-school care, and they get that, and once it's updated, like somebody was added, which is
Right.
rare that they get added.
Right.
Because it's a full system, we just send it that, so she'd have to print it out, put it up.
right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
see that's more,
And she thought she was kicked out of.
yeah.
She was like,
Yeah.
I didn't go. They didn't. I was-
No,
Well,
well,
and that's
we
what
don't
I'm
do
saying,
it
that's
that
what
way,
I'm
put
saying, she
them on the
loves tour
bus.
kids, and so she knows, and that's why I wasn't blaming her earlier, but I was saying, I'm surprised, cause she's like, I'm going to tour kids, the first time that week we were getting her signed up,
Mhm.
she was like, I'm not getting on the bus, she told me, I'm not going with us, I'm staying, I'm like, no, you can't stay till Monday, right, that very first day, I'm like, you can't stay till Monday, so she's so excited, but then Wednesday was a weird day, we had half day and everyone went home on the bus, so she's
Right.
already confused, like, why wasn't I a tour kid? So
Right, and then
she's
not
she's
only
she's
that,
a smart, you
not,
know,
not only
cookie
that,
too.
it
So,
just falls on, you know what I'm saying?
but I would never meant to say it was her
certain-
fault. I didn't make that mean.
A certain standard to where her name is just end up missing.
Honey, it's
on the
not about
schedule
her, I
days.
mean, she gets.
Right, no, that's what I'm saying, it has to do with her name or something of that
No,
sort,
It was
because,
just carelessness.
It's just she's the only
Right.
tour kid in Miss
At
Muir's
least
class.
you
She
said-
didn't think to
at
move her
least
name
you said
over
it,
because
'cause
she's
I
always
appreciate
I'm
seen
not
her.
trying to be funny,
at
but
least
they have
you
tighter
said it
system in the
was
jail
just-
system.
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah,
about her at all.
right,
But it is-
and I appreciate it.
I'm the most
Like,
upset about the
literally,
bus situation
I
because
really
that
do.
is our extra catch.
Because
And,
that
you know,
should
that's
never
happened a
have
couple
happened
times where a
on
kid
her name
was
not
supposed
being
to go,
on the
you know,
list to
weird
where
things happen
she
because the parents do
is
call last
on that
minute, things
list
change,
that she
right? And we're
go to a
500 whatever
facility or
kids.
be in a facility
So,
at
like,
this
we don't all
particular
know on a
time.
daily basis every single
You see
kid,
what
but
I'm
the
saying?
teachers
It should
know,
never happen
and
to
generally
her
they're the
name
ones
not
who
being
kind of can
added.
parcel it out.
Right.
But then, if worse
Added
things
for her.
happen,
Yeah,
why
to
is the
let her
bus?
know,
That's my
to notify
scary
her,
thing, but-
cause if a parent come up here and get a student,
It happens all the time.
yeah, y'all are quick to notify, you know, parent came and got them, boom, is either on the list or y'all either able to call up here at the office and say, you know, the same thing. But nothing was said the entire time. Well, that's a problem right there because we used to seeing her every single day. You know what I'm saying? Monday through Friday, like what's different about this
Yeah,
day?
we're gonna do a different template and put that, because they'll know it, they go get the kid and bring him up, and usually the teacher knows the kid's gone, but
Yeah,
so we'll just end up putting it on a piece of paper, so she knows, and the other guy knows for the older kids.
right.
So anyway, about the girl, so she's got brought to the office because she does, but you know, I just hope you understand that being 6, they don't understand that. She's 7. Well, even
Still.
so even to
She's not grown.
I always like to bring this up because as a parent, like, what it's like, even a lie. The kids don't know the difference sometimes that what a lie is at 6. It's not. They can't do that. They could tell a lie, but to them, it's their truth. You know,
Right.
it's their
Right.
imagination.
Right.
It's those things. So you have to like, oh, let's go back and do this again, and then it could be a completely different story. But Dr. Langevin, the
Yeah,
Yes.
she
Yes.
already knew
Yes,
about that.
I knew that. And I
Okay.
told her
Yeah,
to
she's-
return them.
well, and she had taken them, and
Mhm.
then she didn't return them, and she started giving them out to students.
Oh,
She's
wow.
a giver.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so we're getting them back, and
Yeah.
so finally, I found out about it, and I go, okay, well, you have to sit out, you have to pay your dues, and then I'm taking her to give them back to Dr. Langevin and apologize, so.
Please do,
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
that's
so
I've
you
already
have to take
spoke
them
with
back to-
her
right.
about those. I said, baby, are these yours? She was like, no. I said, did you take these? Yes. I said, if they're not given to you, these are not yours. You need to return these. And she was like, okay. So,
They got to school, but we are still,
Mhm.
and, but anyway, I'll take care of that, that's what I'm saying, don't say,
Yeah.
You don't see her. She's
I
invisible.
got this, I'm like,
Right.
oh no,
Okay.
mom's here and she's up there.
And I've gotta go pick up my.
Because
My
the
group.
whole thing was, you know,
oh, wow.
we were supposed to, they